All right. Hey everyone, it is November 5th. This is our Team Aspire Weekly Zoom meeting. We've been having technical difficulties today, so hopefully no more. I was just going through the announcements. We have a new kind of a go-getters group for the month that started on Monday. You can join at any time. It just helps you build your business, promote the contest coming up, gives you some basic training, not real in-depth training. But that started on Monday. You're welcome to join at any time. So if you're serious about building the business, make sure that you get into that group. Our biggest slim down contest, the deadline to join is the 16th of this month. That's a little bit flexible, so if you have somebody who lives closer to California, they can order a little bit after the 16th, but the whole point is that they want to be ready on the 23rd when we start. Obviously, if you already have a workout in Shakeology, it's easier. You don't have to wait for anything to come in the mail. You can join up and through the start date as long as you pay the $20 entry fee. And that entry fee we use as the cash prizes. So if you have any specific questions about the contest, send me a message. Rachel Park is also helping me run the contest. So if I'm not available, then she can answer your questions as well. And then I wanted to turn the time over to Brittany because we have some recognition tonight. Are you available, Brittany, at the moment? She's not on the screen. Let's see, she's not available. Maybe we'll do it at the end. So I'm going to start the team call. Oh, there she is. Okay, Brittany, could you do the recognition really quick? Is that okay? All right, thanks.
Do we only have one tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to recognize this person. This is one of my personally sponsored coaches. She's absolutely amazing. She keeps me on track and she keeps me organized. She calls me whenever I don't get my workouts in, and she just keeps moving and going. She does 2 workouts a day, and I want to congratulate her because she became an Emerald today, and it's Danielle Williams. Congratulations. We're so proud of you.
Congratulations.
So,
awesome.
She's absolutely amazing. So I wanted to recognize her today and tell her good job.
Yep. And she's actually the Team Aspire Coach of the Week. So way to go, Danielle. Yay. Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Whoops. I'm changing the screen here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into the team call. So I actually did this team call for another team a couple weeks ago. I really wanted to give it to you guys. I did this maybe a year ago on our team, and it's been a while, and a lot of you are new. So I really wanted to kind of go over it again. But basically, what we call living your life out loud is when you're living your life to where you're talking about what you're doing publicly so that your friends and your family see what you're doing. And that is the best way to get people interested in joining you as a customer, joining you as a coach, whatever it is that they're interested in. The best way is just to live your life out loud. And so I'm going to teach you how to do that with this call. And then also, by doing that, you're promoting Beachbody without being salesy. So it's not like you're saying, go to this link and buy this thing. It's just you talking about what you're doing and showing your results. And then they're like, hey, I want to do that too. And that's really the best way because then you're not being icky. So first of all, I wanted to talk about Facebook. I don't know if you guys are all familiar with EdgeRank, but what EdgeRank is Facebook's ranking system. So whenever you post something on Facebook, not all your friends see it. And the way that Facebook decides if your post is worthy of being shown to more of your friends and your family is whether it has a lot of traction. So the more likes, the more comments, the more shares that you have on any of your given posts, the more they're seen. So if you think about like some of the ones that get shared a lot is when someone gets married or they have a baby, everybody's saying congratulations, and there's tons of likes, tons of comments, and those are usually the posts that you see at the top of your newsfeed because there's so much traction. So what you want to do is get to the point where you're at the top of everyone's newsfeed for just like your regular everyday posts. And because your friends are not going to see everything you post, but you want them to see the important things, right? And the more interaction you have with a Facebook friend, the more they see your posts as well. So the more they comment or like one of your posts, or the more you do it to them, the more that Facebook says, oh, these people are connected. So I don't know if you've noticed that, like your best friend, your sister, whoever it is that you always comment on all their stuff, they're at the top of your newsfeed. So that's what I'm going to teach you, is that if you want like the scientific thing, this is their little formula. You can look at the affinity, the weight, the time decay, blah, 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 blah. But basically, all you need to know, more likes, more comments, more shares, the better. So how do you get more interaction on your posts? So this is what I'm going to go into detail. So I'm going to talk about each one of these points. But to get more interaction on your posts, first of all, you can get opinions about things. Second of all, you can have them choose between two things. You can get advice. Always ask a question. So this is a really good one. And then the other way you can get more interaction on your posts is to personally message your friends in the background. So it's something that, public doesn't see. You're just messaging them. So the first one, get opinions. So this is a really good way because everyone loves to give their opinions. So it was kind of funny. I want to say maybe 6 weeks ago, a month ago, we bought a new car, and I was like, okay, this is a good opportunity for me to get traction on my Facebook page, right? So I personally don't care what everyone else thinks in the world about color. I'm like, I've got my own opinions. I don't care what you guys think. But I was like, this is a good one for getting traction. So I was just kind of said, help, we're trying to decide between red and white. I wanted red, and my husband wanted white. Which one do you think we should get? And it was amazing to me. It was kind of funny because I posted on a Friday evening, which is usually like dead Facebook time. And we got 173 comments. And it was really fun to go through and see what everybody thought. And everyone was like really opinionated. Oh no, don't get white. That's like a kidnapper van. They wanted to tell you all their opinions. And we tallied up the comments. And so I would, like, every couple, hours, I'd get on and say, oh gosh, it's like this many red and this many white. And it was like this big thing. So anyway, getting opinions is a really big thing. So if you're going to get a haircut, you can say, should I keep it long? Should I cut it short? Which dress looks better? What about these shoes or these shoes with this dress? Or, whatever it is. It can just be silly things. You want opinions, even if you don't really care about their opinions. It's a good way just to get people talking on your posts, and that's what you want. So opinions is a huge one. Second thing, have them choose between two things. So you could say, like, do you like cottage cheese better, or do you like, something else? You could give them two options there. Or you could say, do you think this is yuck or yum, or do you think this is smart or stupid, or, some kind of thing where there's two options. And that's a big one. So these were two of mine that worked really well. I was talking about white shorts, whether that's a smart idea if you're a mom. And I got a lot of comments about that. A lot of people were like, oh no, I would never do that. Or, oh, who cares? Do it anyway. And, people have big opinions, so they wanted to weigh in. And then a recent one I did was about the Halloween Black Whopper for Halloween at Burger King, and whether that was gross or yum, and people were like chiming in all about green poop caused by it, and it was hilarious. But anyway, if you give people choices, they're going to want to tell you. And it's good if you do it short. So you don't want to like give them really long things that are complicated to type, because you have to remember most people are on their phone. So if you say like yes or no, would you do this, or yuck or yum, or short words, it works really well. So that's a really good tip as well. So another one that's really good is to get people's advice. So I've seen a lot of you guys doing this, like, okay, my kid isn't sleeping. What's a good method of having them sleep through the night? Or how do you get this stain out of this fabric? Or any kind of thing. You want to remember who your audience is. So me personally, I'm always trying to get in touch with those moms out there, because I have a lot of kids, and I want to connect with other moms. So I'm trying to think, okay, what are things that they're thinking about or they're struggling with, and they could tell me about. And so one of the things that I did is I posted about my ugly boiled eggs, because I always have a hard time boiling eggs for some odd reason, and they turn out so terrible. And so I was like, okay guys, I need help. How do you boil an egg? And I was like shocked that there's so many different ways to boil an egg, but everyone wanted to tell me. And then we got so many shares because they're like, oh, that's great advice, or look at all these different ways to boil eggs, or and it was kind of funny because I just thought, oh, this is a simple thing. Boil an egg, well, it can be pretty complicated, I guess. But everybody wanted to tell me how to boil an egg. So if you get advice, that's huge, because people want to give you advice. Another way that you can get people commenting, posting, sharing your posts is to always ask a question. So this is something I learned at Summit this year, the annual Beachbody kind of get together for all the coaches. One of the top coaches, she said, never post anything on Facebook without asking a question. That's her rule. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing, because what's amazing is that you could throw up a picture. So this is a picture that I did a couple weeks ago. I could have just said, yeah, I'm 31 weeks, blah, and leave it at that. And I probably would have gotten a couple comments like, oh, you look good, or you're getting there closer, or whatever. But if you ask a question, then you're giving them something specific to respond about. So not everyone answers my questions in my posts. Sometimes they just say, whatever they want to say about the picture. But a lot of times I get a lot of people commenting because I ask a question. So if you have a really long post, you want to put it at the top so that they'll see the question first, and then you can post your story or whatever else. But if you have a shorter post, you can put it at the end. So this is one of my shorter ones I did put at the end. But I just kind of asked, anyone else have a baby that spent time in the NICU? Kind of knowing that that would be a sensitive topic, because moms who have experienced that want to tell you all about it. And I got some really long stories and it was fun to read because it's something that I'm connecting with, and I'm connecting with them because it's something we both have experienced. So I got 21 comments of people telling me their horrible NICU stories. But this was just another example. So you can, if you ask a question at the end. So if you notice my post, I like rack my brain, like, okay, I'm going to post this picture of myself. What can I possibly ask at the end? And sometimes you do have to get creative, or sometimes I'll just be like, I'm still gonna, I can make it, right, guys? And like kind of asking that kind of question just so it's like, hurrah, like tell me I can do it, It doesn't necessarily have to be like a long drawn out question, but you just want to ask something so that you give them some kind of reason to respond. Otherwise, it's like they'll just like your post, you want them to comment because you get more interaction. Another good way to get your friends to see your post is if you personally message your friends. So one cool thing is that they don't have to answer you in order for this to work. You can actually just message them every now and then. Hey, how's it going? I saw you went to Disneyland. How cool, your pictures are so cute. Oh, you got a new dog, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be about Beachbody. But if you just message your friends every now and then, even if they don't answer, Facebook goes, oh, there's interaction between them, and so it's really cool that you don't necessarily have to get an answer for this to work. But most of the time, they will answer you eventually. But another good trick is that the people who are at the top of your friends list are the people you have the most interaction with. So if you scroll to the bottom, those are the people that you have like zero interaction with. So a good trick is to go to the bottom of your friends list every day and just message a couple people, 3 to 5, about anything. It doesn't really have to be about Beachbody. You can just say, hey, it's been a long time. How are you doing? And I do that, not as often as I should. But it's amazing because then all of a sudden I see their stuff in my newsfeed, whereas I hadn't even known what was going on in their life because I had no interaction with them. But just because I started messaging them, I start seeing their stuff. And guess what? That means they're seeing my stuff too. So it's a really good way of getting that, Facebook affinity working for you. They can see, Facebook goes, oh yeah, they're suddenly interacting again. We better show their stuff. So they're going to see your post if you do that. So now I wanted to talk about how to promote Beachbody without being salesy. This is a big one for me because I am so like anti-salesy that I just like shy away from anything. And everybody that knew me was shocked when I became a coach because they're like, oh my gosh, you're going to sell something? Because I hate sales so much, like so much so that I would not go to the car dealership to buy a car. I didn't want, I hate when people come to my door because I'm just like, oh, like you're trying to sell me something. So for me, that was a big thing. And I've really tried to figure out like, okay, how do I promote Beachbody? Because I had to get over the whole sales fear myself, because I realized that, yes, I do have to sell things to people in order to help them. Because really, I just tell myself, okay, I'm going to help people. And so how do you do that? How do you portray yourself without being salesy? Because your friends aren't going to, want to be sold to. They're just going to want to be helped. So these are the ways that I've come up with. You can invite people to join you. You share your results. You share your coaching story. And you use your own face on all the promotions. I'm going to go into all these. The first one, how do you invite people to join you? So let me move this so you can see the words. This is a really long post. I didn't, you don't have to read all of it. But basically what I was doing is I was sharing the fact that I had a big arthritis flare. This was about a year ago, and gained like 12 pounds really fast in like 3.5 weeks. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh, I don't want anyone to see me. But I was like, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me to, first of all, live my life out loud and say, hey, I had this thing happen. I had to up my steroids. It made me gain weight real fast. Now I'm going to fix this. You know, who wants to do this with me? And it was amazing to me. I posted this photo. And I have to tell you that it was really hard for me to do because I had already been at my goal weight and had a skinny tummy, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, and didn't want to admit that had happened. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to post it. I'm going to invite everyone to join me. And I got so many messages from people saying, yes, I want to join you. And so you'll see at the end, say, let's do this together. You know, I can't do this by myself. I need friends. I'm not going to give up, you know, type of attitude. Who's going to do this with me? And everyone was like, yes, I want to do this with you. They need that too. They have things happen in their life. They're not at their, you know, their goal. Something happens, whatever. They want that inspiration, and they were inspired by the fact that, hey, I'm not going to let this get me down. And that's more inspiring than me being at my goal weight and saying, hey, I'm, you know, I never have any problems, pretending like my life is perfect. So I actually had 2 people join my challenge just from this post, because I was being open and honest, and I was inviting people to join me. I wasn't saying, I have this great 21-day fix program I'm going to do. Who wants to come buy it from me? That would have been a whole lot more salesy, don't you think? So this was a good one. Let's see here. And then this is tied to the last one. So the same before photo is there. And this is my 1-week results after I got back on the 21-day fix. I was saying, okay, guys, you saw a week ago I posted about this thing happening. Now it's been a week, and look what I've done. And this one was even more effective because people were like, oh my gosh, I just saw that other post, and now you already look like that. And they see me doing it. And so this was after just 1 week, and of course I went 3 weeks with the 21-day fix. But this one was really effective because I'm sharing my journey as I do it. And so I'm sharing my results, and that gets really good response. So if you're posting about it before you start, posting about it when you're doing it, posting about it when you're done, you can get people, you know, before you start, along the way, when you're done. You know, you don't have to wait until the end when you are all done to get all your results, because people will want to know that you're doing it now, and they're going to believe you more if they see your before photo, see your during photo, see your after photo, and they'll be even more impressed because time goes so much faster when it's somebody else, right? So they'll be like, oh, it's been 3 weeks, and oh my gosh, wow, look at that, you know, and that'll impact them so much more. So this was another one where I'm sharing my results, and you can see there are lots of comments, 2 more people during my challenge. So if you're doing it yourself, sharing your results, it works really, really well. So that's why when people come to me and they're like, you know, I haven't gotten my goal weight, I don't know if I'll be a good coach. I'm like, you don't understand. You don't have to. You just have to do it. You have to talk about it. You have to show that it's working. And actually, I noticed it was harder once I got to my goal weight, because then people are just assuming that I was always like that I'd never had problems. So then I really had to be more forthcoming about my story and sharing what I used to look like and how hard it was and how I work every single day my butt off so I stay there, you know. And so it's actually easier if you're going through it. So in some ways, I'm kind of like, oh, good, I'm having another baby. I get to do it all over again, yay, you know. So here's another one where I was sharing my results. Another one where I got really good response. It was just a 3-day refresh. Took 3 days. Guess what? Did the same thing. Posted about it before. Showed that photo of me being like, oh, I gained weight. And then about during, so I would post like, you know, what my meals look like. Here I'm making the shake. Here's day 3. This is what my meals look like. And then when I was done, I posted this. And then people were like, oh my gosh, I got 65 comments. So it really works well, you know, to share your results. Here's another one. I kind of have a lot of examples. You don't necessarily have to show before and after photos. This was one of me. I actually think it was funny because I took this photo when I first did the 21-day fix program the very first time, and I had dropped a pant size, and I was like, oh, I'm about to leave. I haven't posted anything all day. It was like 3 o'clock, and I'm about to leave for the rest of the day. I've got to post something. Oh, I have these new jeans on. So I was like, here, gave my phone to one of my kids, take a picture of me. And it was a little blurry, and my hair's kind of on end, and I'm like, forget it, I don't care. I'm just going to post this. And I posted this and looked at my phone like 2 hours later. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I had all these people share and comment about my new jeans. which I was like, whoa. And all I said was, this works. And I got so many people that were like, okay, tell me more about this program. I want to get into the new jeans too, and so they see like non-scale victories. I didn't necessarily say I've lost this many pounds or here's my before and after photos. I just said, here, new jeans, guys, and they're like, I want that. So, just sharing what you're doing in any way possible works really well. Also, you have to share about your coaching story. So this is a big one, and this is something a lot of people struggle with. I know I personally struggle with as well. It's easier to share about your health and fitness journey than it is about coaching, especially when you're a new coach. You don't necessarily feel like you've made a lot of success or had a lot of success or signed up a lot of people. Guess what? You don't necessarily have to. You just have to talk about how you love what you're doing, how you're helping people. Any way you can. You can talk about success on our coaches on our team. However that you can portray to the world that you're a coach, because if you don't, they're not going to know you're a coach. They're not going to come to you for help. And so you really have to talk about the fact that you're coaching. So this was a really good post for me. I had this goal of breaking $500 in a week for a paycheck. And I was like, okay, once I get there, I'm going to buy this. And this was something that I had my eye on for forever. It cost like $250 or something to print this off. And it was more than I would have ever spent on just pictures on the wall. It was printed on wood, but it was something I really, really wanted. And I was like, okay, I'm going to reward myself with half of my biggest paycheck when I get it with this. And so I got it in the mail. I took a picture. I was like, hey guys, this was one of my big goals. And it was funny because I posted this and I had a couple people I've been talking to about coaching, and they didn't even mention this post, but like 2 hours after, a couple hours after, I had 2 potential coaches contact me, but okay, I want to know more about this coaching thing, and one signed up that week. So it was just kind of like a reminder. You have to remind people that you're a coach. You have to show that you're successful in any way possible, even if it's, hey, I used my paycheck to take my kids for ice cream today. It doesn't have to be huge. It just can be something, or I used part of it to pay off to pay for our mortgage, or however you can figure out how to share about your coaching. You are going to inspire people, because people are going to want that too, no matter how small it seems to you. So for some reason this isn't wanting to change on me. Oh, there we go. One of the last things is that you want to use your own face on promotions. So at first, when I was a coach, I did what most people do, and they just share stock photos, like the one on the right. When we had a Black Friday sale, the first Black Friday sale when I was a coach, I posted that. Guess how many people bought stuff from me? 0. I had coaches say, oh, it was a great Black Friday sale. I sold so much stuff. And I'm like, I didn't sell anything. So I posted this, and I was like hoping for the best, and no one cared. No one messaged me, no one commented. And then the following one, I posted that one with my picture on it, and suddenly I did so much better. I actually sold things. And I was like, oh, it's because they realized it's me, not just some stock photo that they're just going to scroll right past. They were going, oh, that's Angie, when they're scrolling past it. And so that's what you want. You want to grab people's attention and show that this is me, talking, not just copy paste, because they don't care about the copy paste stuff. So if at all possible, use your own picture. So here's another one. When Pio launched last year, I was trying to figure out how to put my own face, so I made myself the Y, and I actually did the best on this launch than any other launch, because I was so good about promoting myself on there that it worked really well. So use your own face whenever possible. So that's why when you guys are like, here's my banner for this, what do you think, Angie? I'm always like, put your own picture on it so that people know, like if it's your event, you want your photo on there so that they don't think that you're just inviting them to someone else's event. You want them to connect with you. So what is the result of all this? The result is you get lots of interaction on your posts. You're at the top of their newsfeed. You have lots of interested followers. So if you're talking about what you're doing, you're being creative, you're being interesting, your followers are going to be like, okay, what's Angie up to today? They're going to want to follow your journey. They know your story. And then when you do talk to them on the phone about their goals or joining your group, they're going to know who you are. You're going to feel like they've already connected with you. And it's always amazing to me when I get on the phone with somebody that I really don't know, because I don't really see them posting on Facebook. They're like, oh, I know all about you. You have this, and your husband does this, and you've got this many kids. And I'm like, oh, you already know all about me. It's because they've been watching me. So you want eyes on you. You do want them to watch you because you want them to see what you're doing. You want to be that go-to health person, that go-to fitness person, that when they have something come up in their life, when they are ready to finally make a change, they come to you saying, hey, I need help. And that's what you want. So you want people to reach out to you for help instead of you trying to find them. It's so much easier. So a few final tips: make sure you always use a picture when you post on Facebook, no matter what. So, take a picture of yourself, take a picture of food, whatever you're doing, whatever you're talking about, just try and put a picture, because if you don't, it's much harder to see in the newsfeed. Plus, you want them to see you, as hard as that is, especially having a hard time lately for me, because I'm like, I've gained weight, I don't want to show me, but people need to see me, so I take pictures of myself. Be animated as much as possible so you catch people's attention. So smile or make a goofy face or whatever is within your realm of personality. Try and be animated instead of just like, no one's going to care if you're just looking kind of like, bleh. So make sure that you're animated in some way. Also be emotional in your posts. So be excited or be positive or, whatever it is. Kind of, we talked about it before, wear your heart on your sleeve, be realistic and transparent so they see that this is how she's feeling. Be positive, but be emotional. Be yourself too. That's another big one. So a lot of new coaches make the mistake of, hey, I liked this post that this top coach did, or, my coach did, I'm just going to copy it. Which you can copy it, but you want to make sure that you are making it your own. So don't just copy paste, hope for the best, because it's going to sound like them and not you. So you want to make sure that, so when I'm trying to come up with like a coaching opportunity post, I'll go to like the top coaches Facebook pages and look at it and kind of get an idea of, okay, they say it like this, and then I'll go in and totally rewrite it to me. And that's what you want to do. You want to make it your own so that they can tell it's coming from you. Because if it's not coming from you, they can really tell that it's not coming from your heart and you're just kind of, it doesn't sound like you. So they're not going to connect. So make sure that you're doing all those things. So that was everything I wanted to go through. We have about 4 minutes. If anybody has questions or comments about any of that. Anybody have anything? Whoops. I just lost you all. Okay, there we go. Does anyone have any questions? No? You're all good? Alrighty, sorry guys about all the drama trying to get on here. I'll have to debug my computer, but thank you for hanging in there for the live version, and then for the recording, whoever caught it. If you have any questions, make sure you post it in our team group below. But that's everything on my end, unless somebody has a last minute question. No? All right. Well, thanks, ladies, for joining, and we will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.